Welcome, everybody, back to a fantastic episode. We are finally back.
We are
This
back,
is,
baby.
Two Shots.
We're back,
Two
baby.
Shots
We've only
podcast.
missed like three days. It's been like 3 days since our last podcast.
That's it.
We are very diligent with our recording. You would know that if
We
you
have
subscribe to our Patreon, because we do massive amounts of content and updates for our Patreon subscribers. Welcome
We
back.
have been on a nice little hiatus, but we are finally back on the good graces, and we got a hell of a show. We missed 3 weeks of football, but as always, we start out our conversations with our two shots.
Yep.
Today, I would love to make a shout out to the Miami Dolphins. I don't know. If
we can tell because of your jersey. and your
and
banner on your
boys.
back wall over there. Yeah.
I mean, they put up 70 points, so you know what? Here's
What
to
are you
them.
drinking? What are you drinking? What you got?
I'm drinking some Captain Morgan.
All right. No, I'm drinking.
Some-
This is rum too. This is Rum Haven, coconut rum for me.
What?
Good stuff.
I'm doing the sliced apple.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty tasty.
To
Miami
Miami Dolphins.
Oh yeah.
Man,
All right, what
as
do
a
you got,
Tampa
Mike?
Bay Buccaneers fan, it's fucking sacrilegious to toast the Miami Dolphins. But we will be discussing exactly why we are toasting the Miami Dolphins. For those that are football fans, you already know why, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So I would like to toast Sean Reinhart. I don't know if I've toasted him in the past, but we're going to toast him again today because I saw the band Cynic recently, and he is their late drummer and one of the most fantastical, wonderful drummers that has ever graced the metal scene. He's very jazzy and technical, as well as just brutal and amazing. And he was also in Death. Rest in peace, Sean Reinhart. He died like the same month that Neil Peart did from Rush. It was a very bad month for drummers. But
I think we did toast them.
did
so,
we?
Yeah.
I want to toast him again because I saw Cynic recently with a different drummer, and we can discuss that later in our podcast. So here's to you,
right.
Sean. Rest in peace. Sean Malone, I'll toast to him too. Bass player, also dead. The two Seans from Cynic. So there you go. 2
The
for 1
two-
special. Two shots.
2 shots.
Bonus shot for both of them. Here's to you
There
guys.
you go. Right. Well, like I said, we have a hell of a good show.
Let's get
coming
right
to
on
you.
into it with your jersey right there. Looking so good.
So, I'm sporting the Miami Dolphins today. I sport them all the time, but this Sunday they broke some records. They were almost willing to break a bunch of almost all the records, but they decided to be professionals and they stopped.
Yeah, it was.
They scored 70 freaking points.
I mean, there aren't fucking college scores that are that high, man. Like, holy
Right.
shit.
The Denver Broncos were doing nothing.
Yeah,
I
no
mean, I guess they were
defense
just
Broncos, that's for sure, man.
Yeah, and they have one of the best corners on their team in Patrick Surtain Jr. So for that to happen, for the rushing yards, I mean, 350 passing yards, over 350 rushing yards, 70 freaking points. My team that I've been rooting for ever since I was yay big.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jason, you have been a disgraceful, awful, disgusting Dolphins fan as long as I have known you, and it's over like 20 years now.
20
So-
plus years, yeah.
So you're finally getting your comeuppance. As a Bucks fan, we had the 2003 Super Bowl, and then we had the Brady era, but not much other than that. As a Bucks fan myself, so those were good times.
Did have the eras.
It's time for Miami to have another era. We need another Dan Marino era. Is your boy that good? I think he's pretty good. Now that
He's pretty freaking good. He's
Yep.
balls on accurate, and I'm gonna make this prediction
Mm-hmm.
that after this year, and this is the sad truth of the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
because Joey Burrow just got the highest. He got the tag, the highest paid quarterback. I think he's at like 50 something, 55 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you Tua will surpass that.
Yeah. Well, if we see something else or a few more games like even close to this, like holy shit, man. Like
So my argument lies is before he went on the concussions last year, they were undefeated. I mean,
yeah, he was
they
good
lost
before
when he
then,
went
huh?
out. Exactly. So I mean, he
It's
was
not
a
like this
winner
is
in
a fluke.
college.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. This is
Yep.
this is like all by design. So my Miami Dolphins.
That's a good design.
Let's
You're
go
like,
to the Super Bowl.
it's like here's the plan this week. I want you to score 70.
You guys are
Like that's
gonna
a good
just go out
plan.
there and crush.
I want you
And
to
maybe next
drag
week-
your nuts over the Denver Broncos for the whole game. Like do that. That's a good plan, right?
Sean Payton has disrespected me enough. Let's go ahead and drop 70 on him.
Oh my goodness. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, no, football has been fantastic. The Dallas Cowboys lost. That was wild.
That's good.
To the Cardinals, like nobody would expect that. Gambling wise,
Bucks were trash. We played Monday night and it was like 3 to.
it wasn't trash.
I think it was trash, wasn't it? I didn't even watch it to be honest. I thought you're not a Bucks fan, so
So I
it's
watched,
trash as a Bucks fan. I didn't even watch the
watched-
game to be honest with you. It's very not so
I
good.
watched over half of the game.
Yep.
And the Eagles were not playing good in the first half. Maybe the first quarter. Like the Bucks had a chance to actually like pull ahead, but the Philly Eagles, their defense is so good that like Baker Mayfield just got a little overwhelmed because
did.
Mike Evans was still Mike Evans. Like he was still catching balls.
Yep.
It's just I
There's
think
still
it's just
guys
too
on the
much.
team, but man, it's like they should play Trask more. I was a big Kyle Trask at University
He's
of
not-
Florida
nah,
fan.
nah,
There's no way he's ever gonna see a blade of grass, but man, I was on like the like Trask ain't trash bandwagon when he was playing for University of Florida, and he like came in off the quarterback got injured, and then Trask came in and like showed everybody that he was the man, and then kind of petered out and became Brady's backup for like 2 seasons and
didn't learn shit.
Yeah, I guess not. Apparently not, because otherwise he'd be playing right now. I think. I mean, it's not like he didn't have a great opportunity, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. 'Cause
Sorry,
they were gonna
Trask.
Actually, they were going to give him the start.
I mean, think of the opportunity he had. Like they're just like they're waiting for Brady to retire. It's not like he's playing forever. So
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
buddy.
He just couldn't do it. So sorry, Trash.
Another UF amazing quarterback that did not do well in the NFL. They've seen it before.
Well, we got one. Yep. We got one on the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Richardson.
That's right.
If he can stop getting
they just had a good game, didn't they? I thought they
beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
Nobody would expect that either.
Nope.
I didn't expect it because on my pick'em sheet, I definitely did not pick the Ravens.
Nope.
This week was garbage for me, but my team scored 70 points. So how can I be in a bad mood?
No, you can't be. You can't be.
So we've had a nice little hiatus, so we got quite a bit to talk about. Mike, why don't you fill us in?
Should we go? Is it time to go down the list?
I think it might be.
So I want to tell all of our local and international subscribers and our Patreon subscribers. So COVID was really bad for music and basically everything. There was like 2 years where you could not go to a concert. And I was going to a lot of concerts before COVID. I love music. We talk about music on here all the time. Love music so much.
Music's our passion.
So after COVID went the way of the dodo, I started going to every concert that was coming through. And so since our last show that we recorded in this one, I've seen 10 bands. It wasn't 10 concerts, but I've seen 10 bands.
Oh my God.
I actually have about a half a month off maybe before all right, so in November I'm going to Chicago for a concert to visit our one friend, see a basketball game and go to a concert. That's in November, and I don't think I have a concert between now and then. So I think I'm on a concert hiatus at the moment because there's nothing going on.
Gonna change.
Nothing going on. So something will happen though, and I'll go see something, I'm sure. So I want to go down the list. So I saw the Death Clock and Baby Metal concert. I think we're going to talk about this one in a future episode because Jason's going to that one too, and I really want his take on this. I want to talk a lot about this with Jason. I think that'll be great. So I did see Cynic, and Cynic is a very interesting band from back in my childhood, essentially, like the 90s. Cynic was a band that was kind of a super group of members of Death. It was Paul Masvidal and Sean Reiner from Death. Sean Malone, who's just a amazing bass player. Kind of a super group was formed down in Tampa. And Cynic is this crazy. They did this album called Focus, which is this crazy album of what we used to call like jazz metal or fusion metal, because it's got all this weird shit and weird like jazzy stuff in it, but it's still death metal. And like half the vocals are done with a vocoder, which is really weird sounding. Really weird band, but like technically very, very proficient, and the songs are amazing. And Focus is one of my all-time albums that it's hard to recommend to people because it's really weird. But if you want to hear some jazz metal or some really weird metal, and if you're probably a musician, you'll probably like Focus. And so this was a cool tour because they played Focus from start to finish, and then they played some of their other stuff. So it was really good. Fantastic. I put a couple clips on our YouTube channel up there. Definitely worth checking out. Please check that out. Fantastic band. There were a couple openers that I didn't note, even though I should have, because they were very good. I should go back and find those two opening bands. They were both very, very good. So that was one of the concerts I went to. I also went to a wizard metal concert, and
oh yay!
Yeah, I know Jason loves wizard metal. We did a whole episode on wizard metal. Please, if I'm cool, I'll put a link up somewhere. Wait. So I'll link to our wizard metal. Should we talk about wizard metal a little bit to catch people up, maybe a tad?
Just a hair.
All right.
Because I want to throw something out there.
Okay.
Ever since our popular wizard metal cast and how we broke it down, I recently have become a slight fan. I will say a slight fan. This is something yeah, exactly. Do that rock out eyebrow.
Notice the people's eyebrow coming up here. The eyebrow of skepticism.
I really kind of dig Windrose.
Windrose, yeah. That's a good band, man.
I don't know why. But ever since that clip you put up of Diggy Diggy Hole.
Diggy Diggy Hole, man. Song, yeah. Which is a cover song. That is a weird cover song, man. Like,
they did a good job on it. So go check that out. We do have that posted on our channel. But I have opened my horizons since that cast. So go on with your wizard metal.
Okay. Band. So wizard metal is also kind of called power metal.
No, it's not. It's called wizard metal.
Well, we call it wizard metal because Jason used to call it wizard metal many years ago when he was making fun of me for listening to that shit. He called it fucking wizard metal because he's a giant asshole, but the name really stuck, and like I call it wizard metal now too because that.
It kind of fits.
So the headlining band for this concert is a band called Camelot, and they're from Orlando and Tampa area. I've seen them so many times now. They're not like really a band that I seek out or I listen to all that often, but they put on a hell of a show. The singer's very, very good. A lot of the songs are pretty darn good. But to me, they're not super interesting. They're kind of like stock power metal. Which I don't mean that to be like necessarily a bad thing. But really, all super talented musicians. But just like not anything to really like have them stand out. The two other bands I thought stood out more than Camelot. It's a band called Xandria and a band called Battle Beast, and they both have girl vocalists, chick singers, huh?
Listen to that freaking name.
Battle Beast.
And tell me wizard metal doesn't freaking make sense.
Well, or Xandria with an X. Like, I mean,
I'm just saying.
This is like, like fairies in the woods, Xandria, like, I mean, but
yeah,
they were both remarkably good bands. Battle Beast was really good, actually. Like, I was shocked because I had seen them both before, but I didn't really like listen to them that much. They were remarkably good. It's hard to really go to do a wonderful, enthusiastic take because Jason is just going to make fun of me, and which I deserve. But I do love Wizard Metal. These two bands were really worth checking out, and they were way more on the interesting side. But Camelot, I mean, a lot of people love Camelot. They were the headliners.
Oh yeah, they're coming to Washington because they're. I mean, apparently they're.
You should go. You should go, man.
Not going.
You should have. I will PayPal you some money to get you to go, so you can come back and talk about it. Some live power metal.
You just said that they're meh.
No, you should. No, you should see the tour. If so this was the last day of the. Oh, this was another thing I do want to bring up that was cool. Thank you for reminding me of this. One of the best things you can do is see a band on the last day of their tour, the last gig of their tour, because they all do not give a shit, and they're all drunk, and they're done with it, and they're like breaking stuff, and like that was an awesome show just for that aspect of it. Always if like a band is finishing up near you, like go see them no matter what, because you get some great shit. They're like doing shots on stage, just drinking.
Oh yeah.
It's like a party for them. Then this concert was kind of like that, which was also awesome. You know, they bring out their crew and everything on stage and everything. It's way more fun and relaxed.
Pretty fun, yeah.
So that was definitely a big plus. That concert was really good. I guess there's no way. I mean, it's over now. You can't go see it now. But
so Camelot was meh, but the other
I don't want to say meh. They were really good, but Camelot's not really so much for me. And I've seen them like so many times. Like I don't know if I would go seek out Camelot. If like I didn't have
come from the guitar.
No.
Did you literally see it? Because I bet that's what happened.
Well, I mean, yeah, it just magically happens when you,
like a hologram, like
the lights come on, like the hobbits start dancing in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, like Legolas comes out from the back and shoots his bow, and
fireworks.
Yeah. There's those Hobbit fireworks in the beginning of Lord of the Rings. Absolutely. You asshole.
I'm done.
I know I deserve this. I know I do.
No, I got good stories for you after this. Go on.
Okay, so all right, so that was another 3 bands I saw. Okay, so the last one concert I'm going to talk about was a big concert. This was at the Mid-Florida Amphitheater, we used to lovingly refer to as the 1-800 Ask Gary Amphitheater.
Yeah,
which is
it's gone through so many damn names.
So many names. It's a open air amphitheater.
Such a good venue.
Sometimes it's a good venue. I want to talk about the venue a little bit because this time it was really good. So what's cool about it is it holds 17,500 people. Like it's big. This was a big concert, man. It was big.
It's really righteous.
Yeah, it's awesome. This is not like House of Blues or the Orpheum or whatever, which holds the Orpheum. I swear holds like maybe 300 people or something. Like it's tiny.
Yeah,
this was big.
Yeah.
And I put some video clips from. The band I saw was Avenged Sevenfold, and the two openers were Kim Dracula, which is not really for me. It was kind of like a weird. Okay, I'll start at the beginning. Kim Dracula was the first opener, and they were like sounded like a weird cross between like Marilyn Manson and I don't know, like it was kind of like a whack version of Marilyn. Not that I was like the hugest Marilyn Manson fan. I liked him kind of before he was a little techno-y. I liked some of his older stuff.
I was. I love Manson.
Like what do you call it? Cake and Sodomy. Like I like the first, old ass Marilyn.
Great album.
Yeah. White trash, get down on your knees. Oh yeah, and like dope hat, and like I like that era of Marilyn Manson. That's when I was like more into them.
That's that Trent Reznor era.
Like the Trent Reznor stuff. Once they started hooking up, it was less like I didn't super kind of. It was okay.
Antichrist Superstar was so good. Like okay.
Okay.
Let's not. I mean, we're gonna.
I mean, that was heavy. It was heavy.
Bash on Manson.
Well, I mean, some of that stuff I like too. Like, I think I saw him with Rob Zombie back in the day or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe.
me too.
And
Yeah.
like that. I mean, he always put on a good show. And like, I'm not anti Marilyn Manson. Like, I'm okay with it.
So what this band? You said this is like a
So this was
band?
so I don't want to like just shit on some band because everyone
It's okay.
like people
Yeah,
like really
everybody
seem to like him a lot, but this was not for me. And it was like there was a lot of Marilyn Manson vibes there, but maybe not so much pulling it off in the as the Marilyn Manson that I know.
Right.
So then maybe I would listen maybe a little bit to give it maybe more of a chance, but this was not for me. Not my kind of music, but more power to them. He obviously had a big crowd that was there. A lot of people knew his stuff for sure. I think he's from Australia, maybe. But it's a dude, Kim Dracula, I think was the name. Oh, anyway, okay. So that aside, the big opener was this band called Falling in Reverse, they were pretty good. This band was kind of famous because they're all right. So I went and read about it. So it's one thing that's not like the best sign is when I go like read your Wikipedia article while you're performing. so like that's not great, but I did that for this band. Some of the stuff was better than other. I think they were some of the songs I kind of dug and some were not really for me. There was a couple of covers I think they threw in, which was kind of cooler. I think. But oh yeah, cause they did a cool cover of a Smash Mouth song. Rest in peace to the Smash Mouth dude.
Oh yeah,
I know he just died.
Yep,
like, aw, I mean that sucks.
It does. Yeah, it does. Because he's still a musician.
Oh yeah, and Smash Mouth. I mean, they were always on the radio. Like, it's not something I would seek out, but you'd always hear their music in like movies, and I think weren't they in like the Shrek soundtrack and shit.
They made some money off of it.
Oh yeah,
they did their thing.
So Falling in Reverse did a cover, but Falling in Reverse is like the brainchild of this one dude, and he started this band in prison. So like a good 80% of that Wikipedia article on him and his band is all like criminal activity that this guy did. He is a straight up like gangster criminal, like not soft crimes either. Like he beat some ass and like stabbed some. I mean, like it's awesome. You go read about this dude, and he's like just kind of a little guy, but I think he's a fighter. Like this guy, this guy you don't want to fuck with. I think you might have some kills, man. But the band itself was okay. But so this dude said some shit on the. And I don't mean to get political on our channel here. He said some shit on the internet. I'll just say it. I'll say it like this. He said some shit on the internet that a lot of people disagreed with, and Avenged Sevenfold, like Matt Shadows, like stood up for him like big time and said, "Hey, look, it's okay to have an opinion. You guys like stop fucking with people, like." And like really stood up for this guy, and then brought the band on tour, and like I'm one of those like let people say some shit, man. I kind of lean on that side of the fence, and then I will stop with politics. If people don't like politics, I'll knock it off. All right, I will knock it off. But that's part of why this band I think was there is because of what happened. Now, does this band belong opening up for Avenged Sevenfold? No, they do not. Avenged Sevenfold. No, I'm not saying they're not good, but Avenged Sevenfold, whether people want to like talk about genres or not, like is a fucking good metal band. Like it's metal. Yes, and I know there are some like pop elements and stuff like that, but this is like a metal
and even
show.
Country elements.
Like, but it's also like, I mean, we're talking like guitars, double bass. Like Avenged Sevenfold is a metal band that I like, and I'm standing on this hill. They're a metal band.
Oh no, you don't have to stand alone. I'm right there with you. They are,
and I'm not saying that like Falling in Reverse is like a rock sort of experience. It was like rock, and but it's I don't know if the fan bases like really like coincide. I guess they did. Enough that was there because Avenged Sevenfold is so popular that if you really like Falling in Reverse, it's not like you're gonna hate Avenged Sevenfold. But if you're into Avenged Sevenfold, like I'm not sure you're necessarily gonna be a big fan of the other band. But
so Avenged is a wide.
But no, Avenged Sevenfold has a lot of mass appeal.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, the gaming community, the metal community, they have an aspect
Yep.
of country. Like, they are
Yep.
this generation's like band for everything.
And very popular. I mean, they sold that concert, man. And this is a big boy concert. And they were like, and they carried it themselves. Like, they were the headliner. Like, they played
Yeah,
bigger
yeah.
shows and festivals for sure. They
Oh
have,
yeah,
but this was like
I've seen
their
them with
baby, and they
Metallica.
sold that bitch out. So
So
very
how
cool.
was
And I
it?
saw them open for Metallica too. Huge. And I was in a football stadium, like massive.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, same here.
So now to talk about Avenged Sevenfold. Avenged Sevenfold is awesome. I love Avenged Sevenfold so much. The two albums I love the most in the middle are the ones that are much more like, I guess, technical metal centric, which was City of Evil and then Avenged Sevenfold. That those two albums to me are like some of the two
Yes.
best albums ever made from start to finish. I love the technicality. I love the complexities to it. I love the vocals. Even I know a lot of people
The vocals.
give Matt M Shadows a bunch of shit for vocals. I think his vocals are great. I think
So good.
so. All right. So seeing that, I've seen Avenged Sevenfold live probably close to 5 times. I think maybe 5, maybe 6 now, and I saw them in pretty much every era. I saw them with the Rev drumming. I saw them with Mike Portnoy drumming. I did not see them with Aaron Alj drumming, and I saw them with Brooks Wackerman drumming twice. So I want to talk a little bit more about Avenged Sevenfold. So Matt Shadows got into some trouble with his vocals, and he's had trouble with his voice throughout his career. He's heard it, he's damaged it. He's come back and recovered. He sounded great in this concert. He was a little iffy at times,
Be careful.
but he did sound pretty good in this. And I watch, like, I sit there like an asshole and I watch stuff. But he sounded pretty damn good. I was expecting the worst, and he did not give me the worst. So this was really good, and I've seen him sound way better in the past, but he was good enough.
Based off the video you posted on our YouTube channel,
Yep.
check it out.
Yeah, check it out, please.
I tell you,
What do you think?
heard him better. I've heard him better. Like, the music was great.
Yeah, I've heard him better for sure. I do want to say that. Yeah.
With what you're saying with his vocals, like I still feel like he's struggling. I feel like it's almost like a Axl Rose situation where
I don't know if
like,
it was
he
that
can't-
bad, but
I
this
feel
was
like he can't hit it no more.
yeah, and those
it's
songs
sad.
are hard songs to sing, especially with distortion that he uses.
Right.
And like, I'm not sure if how much longer he's got really, if it's gonna keep fading like this, or if he's gonna be able
that
to
sucks.
keep rehabbing it. Which would be a damn
so
shame
talented.
because his voice is so killer, and I want we want our bands to like be around forever.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying like that they're done or anything like that, but this is the decline, and that it breaks my heart,
Me too. Because really, when you talk about M Shadows, like I put Corey Taylor, this generation. I say
Yeah,
this
yeah.
generation. I put Corey Taylor and then him. Like that's my top 2.
Okay, yeah.
And then when I was listening, I was like, whoa. Ooh, maybe, and I don't want to. I'm not going to sit there and say my genius producer Mike, his audio is shit, but his voice, it sounded like he was like it sounded like
he's
Axl
struggling.
Rose. When I went and saw Guns N' Roses in concert, there was like 1 or 2 songs where you knew Axl can hit it dead on, but right after that, he went to his like lower tone. And that's kind of what I felt with the 2 songs you put, and I was like, I love both of those songs.
Yeah, those are the ones I was like. These were the 2. I always look at the set list ahead of time because I'm a jackass, and I was like, oh, I know they're doing this one, so I know I can go get a recording of it. So that's what I did. I picked the 2 ones, one from each of those albums that I knew I loved those songs, and yeah, going like listening to him again. He's not perfect at all, and vocals are so tough. Like I've heard so many bands like do shitty vocally, but I've also heard so many bands like nail it vocally.
Me too.
And so it's like it really sucks. Like maybe he had an off night, but I also like the rumor has it he's struggling. So
That's sad.
so that makes me really sad. I will say though, the rest of the band very very good. Have not lost their shit. I watch guitar players like a hawk, and like if they miss a note, like I notice it. And
Yeah, it's ridiculous, Mike. You
the
just
two
need to enjoy the fucking show.
I know the two guitar players in this band are both very very good. Very good, very underrated in my opinion too. I think
No.
yeah. Well, like by the metal community. It's the same thing that Joey Jordison got all the fucking time. Joey Jordison, I think, is fucking awesome, and like so many people shit all over him, and they were wrong, but so many people shit all over him. And what's his name? Sinister Gates, because and a lot of people shit on Avenged Sevenfold because like they had that like kind of pretty boy thing going at the beginning, even though it was like really hard ass metal.
Yeah,
and I think Sinister Gates takes a lot of shit, but the dude is really good. He's really good. And who's the other guy? Zachy Vengeance. Zachy Vengeance, is that the other guitar player? They're both good enough to like play the harmonies and like they know the material super well. They're not like improvising the solos, like they know the solos. Here's looking at you, Kirk Hammett. Can't play the fucking same thing twice.
Hey, listen.
So I'm ready.
Don't have to do.
Huh?
What we don't have to do is talk shit on guitar players because, like, I will tell you, you know, when it comes to Avenge, I never like, and this is the community you hear. This is the side that you're accustomed to. You're the musician.
Yeah.
As the extreme fan of music, as whatever it is you want to call me, as the passionate one, I never see the holes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, maybe to your eyes, like that he's talked very highly of.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, and especially with you, I'll say that, especially with you. But with anybody on the outside,
yep,
that like listen to music, and we're gonna get into this topic here soon enough. But like when they listen to music, Avenged Sevenfold is fucking clean.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they really are. That's part of why I like that band so much. Is like their and their ability to reproduce studio quality shit live, I think, is very very good. And they put on a hell of a show too. Like they had like shit in the background and stuff. There's like big movies going and like really cool effects on the cameras that were filming them and shit. It was really awesome. But and that's something I really watch for. So yeah, I just took a shit on Kirk Hammett there, but believe me, I love me some old Metallica. Like don't confuse it. Like there's respect there for Kirk Hammett. Believe me.
When I saw Metallica with Avenged Sevenfold, I thought Kirk killed it. I thought James killed it. They're 60 years old.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and stand up for both. Like,
Metallica. Please, Metallica's my all-time favorite band. Like, please do not think that I'm shitting on it. Please don't think that. You know,
and your wizard metal bullshit can just take your Kirk Hammett.
Well, my wizard metal also got started in thrash metal, and I fucking love Metallica. Like, don't confuse it. I still love me some fucking some thrash metal. Believe me, I do.
Oh,
and Metallica is still my all-time favorite band. Even though I have loved and hated them over the years, but like fucking love old Metallica. Believe me, love it. It's my favorite music.
I do want to bring this up. I love.
Oh wait. Oh, sorry. About Avenged Sevenfold. If you don't know who Brooks Wackerman is, like you're really screwed up because Brooks Wackerman like should be talked about. Okay, so Brooks Wackerman is like a child musical prodigy from like a musical family, and he's been in so many bands, and he is so good and so talented. Like you wouldn't fucking believe it. How good that guy is. Like, that dude is a musical genius. Please do not sleep on Brooks Wackerman. He was in Bad Religion when he was, like, a kid. He played in, like, oh, God. Like, I don't have a nice note sheet in front of me, but, like, please do not sleep on Brooks Wackerman. That dude's so good.
Wait.
Yeah.
So you're saying not to sleep on a musician who has family members that, brought up, right?
And they're all drummers. Yeah.
That's all fine and dandy, but guess what we did?
What's that?
And I say we collectively.
What's that?
We kind of shit on the new lead singer, which I can't say his name, of Fear Factory.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah. So like, be careful with what you're saying there.
Oh,
Like
well,
Brooks is probably good because
oh, Brooks is like a
Drummond,
50-year-old man. He's been around forever. Like he started out like a long time ago as a kid musician. Like I mean, as
okay.
like a 5-year-old. Like I mean, he's been drumming forever. Is what my point is.
I'm
That's
just
my
getting
point.
in your head here.
Okay,
You're,
please, dude. Like Brooks Wackerman is like a fucking like a living legend. That guy's so good. Like, please
Yeah,
do
but
not confuse it.
with the drummers that they've had in Avenged, like how can he compare?
Oh,
Rev was great. Rev was fantastic.
he was for sure. And not only was Rev great, but he was a great songwriter too, which a lot of people
Yes,
like need to
it's
understand.
crazy.
Yep. So, am I saying is Brooks Wackerman better than Mike Portnoy? And
That's what I'm
if
getting
that's a real question, Mike Portnoy is a very controversial figure in my opinion. Like I think we could do, and I'm not saying he's not he's genius. He's
Just
so
answer
good.
the
He's so
fucking
good. Believe
question,
me.
Mike.
Is he better than that? I think it's real different, and I think the Mike. So this. I think some of this stuff could be like a whole episode of conversation.
I think it might have to be.
Which maybe it will, but no. Is he technically better than Mike Portnoy? Like, no, he probably isn't. But there are things about Brooks Wackerman that are better than Mike Portnoy, and that is something I would be happy to discuss. But I also think there are things. I also think that there are things about the Rev that are better than both of those two, and that is another thing I would love to discuss too, if we want to go down this path. For sure.
So Mike is a musician. Just keep that in mind. Maybe not a great musician because he thinks the way
Well, I'm
he
not.
does.
But don't no. Also, please don't confuse it. Mike Portnoy is amazing. Of course he is. Like anyone that's in Dream Theater is amazing. Even their shitty vocalist is amazing.
You're saying that there's things about we gotta move
about
on.
the Rev and about Brooks Wackerman that are
yeah.
better than Mike Portnoy.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I'm saying that. Yeah, for sure. I 100% will say that. Yeah.
We're gonna put a pause on that one. That's a whole show, I think. Because I
don't know if it's that much of a whole show.
Because Rev, I have high regards for Rev.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Because of what he was able to do besides drumming.
Well, all right. So Mike Portnoy was a professional musician's musician.
Yes.
Right. Like he can count the odd time signatures. He can do all kinds of stuff. Like his resume like speaks for itself. Right. Like he's incredible. Of course he is. And he played in Dream Theater, which is another band that like prides themselves on their technicality. Hold on one second.
Like Rush.
One second. Hold on to maybe I'll edit this out. Hold on.
What are we doing?
I gotta fix this right now. All right, say something cool, Jason. Just entertain our audience for 15 seconds.
Okay, so I got this. All right, so I do want to mention while he's fixing something, I have in our little hiatus.
But go ahead.
I have really worked on a coworker of mine who really had this. Like, he really enjoyed our Wizard Metal conversation, and he was like, I'm such a fan of Wizard Metal. How can you hate Wizard Metal so much? And I'm like, okay, buddy. All right. First off, let me introduce you to a couple bands. Maybe you haven't heard of them. And so I sent him some Dragon Force. As soon as I sent him some Dragon Force, he comes back to me. He's like, yeah, Wizard Metal sucks. Thank you very much.
By the way, Dragon Force is one of the bands I'm going to see in November. I've seen them like 3 times, by the way.
There you go. But then I also sent him some other sides of Wizard Metal because, like, it's a wide range of because it's like that quote unquote power metal that you named. But I sent him some Manowar because that's way different. Horrible experiences with Manowar. But when I look at Manowar, 1, I think of America, but 2, I think fucking Wizard Metal. And there's reasons for that. Because they're always storming the castle and somebody's fucking casting the fireball or something.
It's epic. It's very epic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the storytelling, like we talked about in our previous episode. And so I sent him some Manowar. Now, for you guys that may be unfamiliar, you can probably do yourself a favor and not listen to Manowar, because I'm about to tell you, Manowar is pretty much like Ronnie James Dio. Hot take. When you listen to Manowar, I'm like, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Ronnie James Dio. So
Okay.
maybe you might like it and go check out some Manowar. But let me tell you, he loves Manowar. So
He loves
maybe
Manowar.
he's
Okay.
back. Maybe he's back on the train of Wizard Metal's great, but I could send him plenty more.
Well, all right. So, okay, an addendum to Wizard Metal. I would like to bring forth an addendum to Wizard Metal, and so I. All right. So.
Let's hear this.
So I mentioned power metal. Power metal is a big old giant genre, like huge, huge, huge. One of the genres that I was really a big fan of is this genre called neoclassical European power metal. All right?
Yes.
Okay.
I fucking hate it, by the way.
Neoclassical European power metal. And which is a pretty specific genre, okay? So that was one of the big ones I was into, and that was like Yngwie Malmsteen, Stradivarius, like Sonata Arctica, like bands that had like shredding keyboards and shredding guitars, stuff like that, really fast, and then soaring tenor vocals, that kind of stuff. Now, Dragon Force easily falls into that category for sure. All right.
Yep.
Now, like Windrose and Manowar, who even those two are not like super close to each other, but those are not. Neither of those bands I would consider to be neoclassical European power metal, like at all. and wizard metal is way more like neoclassical European power metal than the rest of the power metal genre.
No.
All
So
right.
when we described it,
Yep.
we described the storytelling.
Yep.
And in neoclassical power metal, don't they talk about storytelling?
There's lots of that for sure. There is. Yeah.
So, and it's very, very, very fast guitar playing.
That's right.
Okay. And there's the boot camp.
Boot camp. No, always.
Right?
Yeah, you always
Right?
got boot camp,
Right?
booty camp, baby. Yeah.
Okay. So
Not always, but
With
lots
that
of the time.
with that very fast guitar playing,
Yep.
there's lightning bolts and fucking the lead singers casting fireballs out of their stories.
Yeah. Well, yeah. A lot of that. Yeah. For sure.
Wizard metal, neoclassical, and power metal is the same freaking thing.
Well, as a
wider
connoisseur of that, all right. But what I think my point is like a lot of the things that lots of people like hate and make fun of, like the Stevie T video, for example, like really was ripping on like all of the things that came from the neoclassical European power metal side of power metal.
No, it can't be just that.
Well, and so symphonic metal, for example, is also power metal, all right, but is slightly different than neoclassical European power metal. Considering Manowar to be power metal of this genre, I think, like, because Manowar is almost like rock. Like, they're not even, like, hard enough to be, like, hard-ass metal and for so much of their stuff.
With your argument, you stated in our last episode, this is going to be great. We're not even going to get to our topic.
Okay.
You stated.
No, I'm saying like that there are differences amongst the power metal. Is my point. It's all power metal. It's all wizard metal.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's not that. I'm just saying.
All right.
But I'm saying like
to...
the most stereotypical of the stuff that we were talking about was definitely the neoclassical European power metal, which is take every stereotype that we talked about in the wizard metal episode, and that is like the example of neoclassical European power metal.
Yes,
all right,
it is.
100% is that. It's boot camp, booty camp. It's like shredding guitars and keyboards. It's soaring tenor vocals. It's talking about dragons. It's like all that shit is that. Like that is that. It's neoclassical European power metal. Dragon Force is like couldn't be more. Like, I mean, Dragon Force, Rhapsody, Stradivarius. Like, there's so many Yngwie Malmsteen. So many of those bands are that, huh? Which one?
Camelot.
Camelot is that. I mean, like
There you
they're a little, they're not as like as sort of like fast and kind of progressive as some of those others, but yeah, for sure it's that. So basically like replace like one of those aspects with something else, and you're like, we're still in the power metal, we're still wizard metal, but we've just like changed it a little bit, and that's kind of
we're
what
Gandalf the white when it comes to
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then Gandalf
exactly.
the gray.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I could see how like someone out there could make a real statement that like Windrose is power metal, but does not sound very much like Dragon Force does.
Right.
Like I think it's still power metal, and it's still, I think they're both wizard metal, but I think the differences are real between those bands.
Okay.
I think that's my point, or sort of a half of a point, just to add to the conversation, really. But please keep going, because I know I totally just derailed us, as I usually do.
No.
Yeah.
You still proved my point, because it's all
it is.
metal.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. I'll take that.
Basically, like, when it comes
it's all
to
shit that you would make fun of me for listening to. It's not thrash metal. It's not death metal. Like, we know that is fucking true. Even though I also love thrash and death metal. So, but
and truth be told, since our last episode,
yeah,
I have opened my horizons to Windrose, and I have actually, like, slightly, and maybe this is a conversation, actually, because as I've gotten older, because we are old, we are two old men that like to
we are
take
seasoned and distinguished.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a teenager, I fucking hated Manowar.
Yeah.
I heard like 4 songs. I was like, "Fuck, I could get behind this."
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I was honestly never like the biggest Manowar fan either, to be honest with you. I liked a few of their songs, but not. Yeah, like just a little bit, and
and so like maybe because of that episode, and I think this is the point I'm trying to get to. Maybe because of that episode and some of the stuff you really broke down, and even some of the stuff I made fun of.
Yeah.
When I listen now, when I've tried to like expand the horizon of my coworker, I guess I was also expanding the horizon of myself. By no means will I sit there and tell you I am a fan of wizard metal.
No.
But I could sit here and tell you today I like some of it.
And so a lot of our opinions that at least, especially in the case of myself, when I first was like first started playing guitar, I was about 14. So music was super tribal back then. And as everything is when you are that age. And there was tons of gatekeeping. So like if you didn't like hard ass shit when like during that era, especially when I started playing guitar, if anything that it was even remotely what's the word effeminate or anything like that, like we shit all over. Like, if you gotta like squeeze your balls to fucking hit the high notes, like we were like, fuck you, like that shit is, we would have used lots of really mean spirited comments, and we were gatekeeping the shit out of everything. It's like, so if you said you liked a band or wore a t-shirt, like we'd grill you on it. Like you better like be able to name their albums, and you better be able to quote some lyrics and shit like that. Oh god, we were so mean about it, and a lot of that it sticks with you. And now as we are older and more mature and all that, I think that maybe minds are open a little bit more. The other thing is, what's kind of cool is as we were doing all the wizard metal stuff for our podcast, like you got exposed to more of it. So like it starts, maybe you played Diggy Hole a couple times by accident. It's like, oh wait, now it's kind of catchy on me or something like that. I just
want to say,
yeah, like you something kind of hooks into your brain, and like even just purely through repetition alone, you start to get a little attached to it, and that's where it starts the horizon from expanding. It's like drinking beer when you're a kid, and you're like, your first beer tastes like shit, and then you drink a little bit more, and you're like, oh, maybe I can get into this, and like you start to associate it with like some fun, and now you're like, I love beer, it's so good. Like that's how I am now. So, it's like there's some of that. And we covered a lot of that in our, and I'll keep linking it every time we say wizard metal. I'm going to put the little link up here somewhere. So you can click on it.
Because it was a good episode.
It was a great episode, actually, I think.
It was a really good episode, and I actually think we're going to do a continuation of that at some point
Well, we
because
should do more analysis. Yes.
we have some great ideas for future episodes, and I do want to continue expand more on that. And also, before we get onto our topic, I also want to add that we are going to start finding our way into Spotify, Apple iPod,
Yep.
all these other podcasting systems. But we are only two of us, and we are, you know, truth be told, Mike's a smart one. I try to do research and be like, look
Stop
at
it.
this. Like, so we're working to expand our podcast because really
Yep.
we got good shit to talk about, and this wizard metal thing, and our upcoming new
And you
metal.
can tell because you're still here listening to it after 45 minutes.
Right. Oh, where are we at?
50 minutes. Yeah. So if you're still here listening to us, that means we hooked you and you are still here being entertained, and we thank you for listening.
Absolutely.
We
and
love
we
you.
will just, we ask, just click this subscribe and like, and, try
It helps.
to we want to keep going. We have lost our drive slightly, if we're being honest.
We are.
Because
There's.
summer was really.
I'm cutting you. I'm cutting that out. You did not say that. We have not lost any drive. We are amazing and completely perfect. No, I mean life gets in the way, and
Absolutely.
we both got day jobs.
Yeah. And it really hit us
Yep.
this summer.
Still
It hit
hitting us,
hard.
man. Absolutely. And so
Yeah.
we're gonna put out some more for you, lovely fans. We love each and every one of you.
Really got some good episodes intact. With that in mind, I'm going to move on to this topic because we can make it a quick topic even. But I want to do a shout out, and not a shot, but a shout out to bands that were good at one point but have been forgotten. And what I mean by that is I reintroduced, the same coworker to a band that I have loved for a long time. And I've listened to multiple albums, but he only knows one album. Same thing with Mike. He only knows the one album. And I want Mike to do the same thing for me because, maybe there's something that I was like, fuck, I forgot about that band. And actually, I want the audience, I want you guys to do the same thing because we love music and we want to open our horizons, and we're open to listening to stuff maybe we've forgotten about, which I would say might be kind of hard. We have a wide range.
Yep.
But my band that I'm going to choose is Silverchair.
Yep.
We all know Tomorrow. We all know Frog Stomp. But if you listen to their 96 album, their 99 album, and their 2005 album, they progressively gotten better musically wise because it was grunge. It was absolutely grunge era. When you look at Daniel Jones,
Johns.
you think, yeah, Johns. Yeah. You think
How do I know that?
You think of pre-Nirvana or post-Nirvana era,
Yeah.
and because they were that, they were 16-year-old.
They were children, man.
awesome.
They were kids. Yeah.
Oh man, it was cool. Being he was my age. I was like, fuck yeah, he could do it. I could do this shit. But I just reintroduced Neon Ballroom, that album, to a coworker, and I'm trying to expose it to Mike. But that album was their coming out of being
Just like Frog Stomp Part 2 or whatever, or
no, it's not even as heavy. It's more
no, I
musical.
mean just being another Frog Stomp or whatever. This was the first album where they found their own kind of thing. You mean?
Well, Freak Show, their second album, I really loved, but I think the Neon Ballroom was really if it would have gotten as much traction as Frog Stomp, I think it would have been an exploding hit, and so that's my band that I choose.
Okay. So
I could go way more onto it, but I'm not.
when Silverchair came out, I was a guitar playing asshole teenager that loved thrash music. Silverchair did not stand a chance in my group of friends at all, and which is a shame. And so many bands did not stand a chance. I know we ragged on Silverchair completely. We were very mean spirited, I'm sure, in our comments of Silverchair.
Yeah, probably.
for sure. And I did not pay them any attention after Frog Stomp because because they were basically like when I started playing guitar, we had some MTV and the radio and stuff like that. That was like our social media. That's how like
Yep.
when
That's
you're in the
how
car,
we
we
heard
listened to this
everything.
channel called 98 Rock, and it was like
Yes.
and so anything that was on there, if you're not listening to something on a tape, in your car, it was or a CD player if you were cool.
Or Saturday night at midnight when they would actually play metal.
Oh yeah, very rarely they
Yeah.
did play metal on the radio.
Yep.
So it was like that song, man. Tomorrow was like crammed up our throats,
Yes.
and like as asshole gatekeeping thrash metal fans, like, oh god, it's just- we were not fans of that at the time, which is it immediately creates a negative perspective,
Yes.
well, fairly or not fairly. So I've never given that band a chance, like ever.
We're gonna say not fairly because
I've never been fair to it. Yeah, never. Yeah.
Should have been open to because like I think
Yep.
at one point I think even Corpse Grinder was like I like I don't insert super light band here like I can't
Yeah.
even think of
Well, I
it
mean,
right
I
now,
did
but-
also like confess to our both of our so all of our international and local fans that I was a They Might Be Giants fan. Just I really like the album
There
Flood,
you go.
and
There-
so
yeah.
like that's
That was because of
not
time.
metal at all. So and there's a lot of that stuff. So especially over time, it's not that your taste changed. You just get exposed to more shit. You just get older, and
Yeah.
and you
grow
don't
out
live
of
like
that
a
state of
tribal
mind.
sort of life. Like when you're in high school, like tribalism is so important. You've got like your metal friends, like you got to have like a
Yep.
core group of friends, and that was
For me, it was the goth kids. That's why I was such a Manson fan. So,
yeah. I had a few goth friends too. So it was a lot of that. I was fortunate that I had like a bit of a spectrum of friends, but the metal like really
gatekeeping.
was like the core of my friendships during high school. Was like it was because I was a guitar player. Like I played in like the high school talent show. I did stuff like that. It was metal, like bands, be in bands, play metal. So
Do you happen to have a band though that you can think of where you're like, this band was so good, but didn't get the traction?
oh man, that's man. I think I'm woefully unprepared for this discussion. I want to think about this a little bit, and plus, we are at 57 minutes, guys. All right, cool. We can call it. So, oh, it looks like we ran out of time, Jason. Dude, I'm sorry.
You son of a bitch! Our pre-show introductions and our pre-show talk, we discussed this.
Well, what
You
was
gotta
the?
have one band.
So, what did we? So I know we spent some time talking about Cannibal Corpse, but I'm not sure I would throw it out there as like a
I would not throw
like
them
that
out there.
because I stayed liking Cannibal Corpse. I think over time.
Yeah, me too.
Well, there is like different eras of Cannibal Corpse.
Well,
I might just be like woefully unprepared. So how about this? All right. Well, I guess we got a cliffhanger for today's episode. I totally have one, guys, and I will say it at the next show. So, so we want to thank all of everybody for listening.
son of a bitch. So, I mean, I could throw bands out there for you, like especially if you're going into death metal genre, like but I see. I don't. Some of the death metal that I used to listen to was like one and done.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there were so many
did you-
bands that were like one and dones.
Yeah.
Like, and if we're
I mean,
talking death metal, like, so there's bands that really started out strong and then didn't do that much, like Monstrosity.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, they started out like so strong, and they haven't really done so much in their later.
No, or to make it as like
Yep.
worthwhile to be like, man, they're still so good. And,
Yep.
And to be fair,
And they, like a
Neon
lot of bands, like they
Ballroom came
rotated
out.
around musicians and stuff too. Like it's real hard to keep a band together sometimes. So
right.
that's
And I mean, to be fair, Frog Stomp or Silverchair probably doesn't play anymore. But I'm going back to like, okay, so they came
Yep.
out in '95. And then they had the 97 album or the 96, and then 99, and then they had a 2005. Like, it doesn't even have to be like still continuing because like Monstrosity was a
Yep.
good band. They had like the Millennium album was really
Yeah.
really
Oh
good,
yeah. Oh God.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't hear anything else afterwards.
Yeah.
Deicide,
Yep. Well, so
that's a good one.
Deicide because I played with some of the guys in Deicide, so
Exactly.
I kept up with Deicide way more than I kept up with some of the other bands. Like, so all right,
That's a
so
band I forgot about though.
which is a shame because actually I think they've continued to release quality things. And I'm not just saying that because I know the dudes, but and but they also have like stuff that I really liked, like, and maybe this is a good topic for next week is like bands that you get into kind of from the start and you like their original sound, and then as they evolve and change, maybe you don't care for them as much.
Yes,
Like,
that's a great
which
topic.
I think is a great topic because there's so many bands like where that's the case. Like
Absolutely.
Metallica, for example, that's probably the
Or
poster
Godsmack.
of that. Yeah, Godsmack. I was more of a Fairweather Godsmack fan. I liked most of the radio songs, but I didn't really like dig too much into them so much.
We'll table that.
So yeah, let's table it.
Definitely table
We'll
it.
do it next episode, man. And I think for all you guys out there, we got some great stuff coming. I actually started working on music as well as working on our stuff that Jason and I work on. And so lots more content coming. Just so you guys know, working on video game. I know that's a good topic for
Yep.
this. So
Yep.
that's coming. Pick that back up hard. We're really pushing that one forward. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next podcast. I think we gotta, and it won't be like 1 week from now, which is the amount of time between our last one and this one.
I mean, it will be, but like
Yep.
it will probably be next week, and that's
Yep.
fine.
Weekly
we're
would
just
be
getting
great.
back
Yeah.
into things. Yeah, absolutely. So we once again,
Yep.
from Mike and I, we do love you. We
love
appreciate
every
the
last
people that
one of
we
you.
do have.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We love you.
If you stuck with us, thank you.
Thank you.
We are back. We are
Yes,
back,
we
baby.
back, baby.
And we will see you next week.
Woo!
We got great episodes.
We are back.
Take it easy.